one of the things I've known for a long time is with knowledge comes responsibility. And I wasn't being true to myself. It was really silly. So anyway, you guys were a godsend because you got me, you taught me how to make videos, how to edit videos. Here I am editing videos. It was like, this is cool. And, putting music in there and doing all sorts of things and intros, outros, like, wow, I actually made a video.
Welcome to the Marketing Your Practice podcast. Tony and Angus here from ADIO Media, and we're joined by a very, very special guest, Dr.Lisa Smycz. How are you, Lisa?
Good, Tony, but I've got to teach you how to say my name properly.
No, I knew I'd stuff that up.
Smycz.
Smycz.
It's like SM-itch.
I've got an itch for a smidge, that's for sure. Hey, looking gorgeous.
Can I come in here too, and I'll admit here, part of the reason I wanted you to do the intro.
I could stuff it up.
Exactly. All these times. Yeah, I know. But I thought you'd probably...
Well, I thought I did a pretty good job. I knew it wasn't Well, you said it last time. It was something like Smice or something.
I don't know.
Well, look, it's not as bad as my friend. After 25 years, we were signing in for a seminar and she still couldn't say my name. So I said, that's it. Now I'm going to teach you how to say it. I said, it rhymes with bitch. And she's like,
I will remember that easy.
Now I'll remember it.
Very good. It's one of those things that, because you see it often, and it's not often that I go, hi, Tony Rose. So, Smycz, got it. Beautiful. That's out of the way.
Done.
All right. Well, we're here with Smyczy, and we are going to in for a great little chat today, because there are a lot of people out there that have having some challenges, or have an idea maybe, or would have a vision of how their life, their practice, etc. could be, but aren't quite sure of the steps. And here we've got someone, Lisa, who is putting in place all the things needed to, I guess, make her vision come to reality. What it is that you want to have your practice do, your life do, etc. We're really keen to dive in.
And so, an overview. We've been working with Lisa for a little while. I think she first bought our video influence course. Must have been maybe even a couple of years ago there too. And
it was about 18 months ago.
Got it.
Oh, a bit over. Just a bit over. Yeah.
So in an early one of our kind of coaching calls, that you're part of Community Influencer now, you're talking about your goal being to really remove yourself from the practice. You've got another chiropractor that worked with you as well. And then, you then took us through the journey of what you've done so far and what the next steps are. And we thought it would be a fabulous conversation to kind of have, now. So, but let's just take a quick step back. So the people that haven't had the pleasure of knowing you, tell us a little bit about, chiropractor, how long you've been, where you work, all those kind of things there too. And then we can go through this journey of where you're up to in removing yourself from the practice.
Yeah, no, thanks, Angus. Look, I've been a chiro. This is my 30th year as a chiropractor. So I've even bred one.
You have.
He was actually born on the centenary of chiropractic. So I thought that was kind of fitting. Anyway, so I have been a chiropractor here. I was over in the UK. We had a few practices over there. Came back and kind of had this life of moving between the two continents. So that was really interesting. Then the kids kind of got to that point. I'm in North Melbourne, so just out of town, just out of Melbourne. And we got to that point where it's like the kids are going into high school. I'd just been working with a friend, just doing a couple of half days, just because I just love, seeing people and taking them through that journey. So it was like, okay, now I just need to, I had itchy feet. I just needed to open up another office. And we looked at a property in North Melbourne. It's like, when you just walk into something, this is it. So anyway, started that. The boys were getting a bit older. And it was great. Like, really, it was still that point that was 12 years ago where you kind of just put your name out the front and, the business kind of grew. And then one of my CAs, every Saturday CA is always chiro students. So, we had Brittany come through, saw her through her degree, and then she's like, right, I want to work with you. It's like, oh, okay. So we, you know, took a little while working all that out. And so she jumped on board. And it got to a point where, you know, I was kind of fine on my own. So that the practice was, you know, I was happy with that. But then I had a responsibility. I said, yes, definitely come on board. We knew each other quite well, and we knew that we could work together. So I then thought, well, I need to do more. It wasn't enough just to put her name at the front. It wasn't like years ago that you could just do that and your practice would just grow. It just doesn't happen anymore. So I knew that, and I knew one of the ways of getting that growth was obviously to speak to more people, and the best way was to do that via video. But I had no idea. So you'll laugh at this, because I knew I had to do some videos. I really had no idea where to start. I don't even know how to, you know, do videos on phones, nothing. Anyway, so I'd come up with this excuse like, well, my hair's not, you know, I need to get my hair done. So next time I get my hair done, I'll then do a video. So this went on for about a year and a half. No joke.
So no haircuts, no hair done in a year and a half?
No, I got them done, but I just kept backing out. Like, I don't know what to do. All right, I'll wait for the next haircut and then I'll work it out. Anyway, this went on for ages, and it's like, no, this is ridiculous. So I saw you guys when you did your, you know, your video course, and I thought, right. And it was beautiful because I had no idea. It was step by step, and you guys just guided me through it. And I did that first video, Tone. I think I sent it to you. And it was like, you know, it was like a statue in there. It was like, don't move. And your comment was something like, Lisa, just be yourself, you know, just, you know, smile or something. But I knew we needed to get that message out to more people. And, you know, one of the things I've known for a long time is you know, knowledge, with knowledge comes responsibility. And I wasn't being true to myself. You know, it was really silly. So anyway, you guys were a godsend, because you got me, you know, you taught me how to make videos, how to edit videos. Here I am editing videos. It was like, this is cool. And, you know, putting music in there and doing all sorts of things, and intros, outros, like, wow, I actually made a video. So I was kind of pretty proud of myself. But, you know, I do thank you guys for all of that. And then the journey kind of, from there, I went on to, because we were doing a bit better, but it still wasn't enough. It still wasn't enough to really get her to thrive, because Britt was working with somebody else as well. So she wanted to work in our practice solely. So I was like, well, we still need to get, you know, we need to kind of get her busier. So anyway, I started with Tristan Bond and Practice Acceleration, which we'd been with them for about a year and 14 months. So lots of really good stuff, like implemented, you know, lots of strategies, lots of tools around, you know, content creation with videos. So really got organised a bit more in the practice, which was great. So we got lots of positive stuff coming out of that. But I still
a bit more about that, because that was something that when we were chatting to you, that you started to get some systems in place as far as meetings and all that kind of stuff there as well, which was an important platform. Yes.
And you know, to be able to know what your stats are doing as well, I think is really, really important, because we can kind of go, oh yeah, we're doing okay, but how are you really doing? You know, how are you retaining your new patients? You know, what is the CA saying at the front desk when a new patient is on the other side? So really, really cleaned up a lot of areas in the office, and you know, which, as I said, which was great. But I just found that we were I felt like I was swimming in a sea of so many people and not really getting that, not that I expect, you know, one-on-one, but I just felt that, you know, I was a bit lost in there. So I saw you guys with your community influencer, and I felt that also being chiropractors, I mean, Tristan Bond's a physio, but I just felt that we just kind of connected a bit better on that level as well. And I just felt that you guys will just kind of take me to the next level. So, and I follow you guys all the time. While I was even with Tristan Bond, you know, I was always following you guys too. So just love what you guys do. So, and yeah, and it's just this real authenticity with what you do, and you know, you live it, you breathe it, and that's what I was after. Someone who was in that top 1-2% of what they do. So you guys are doing that. So that's why I'm here, because I want to learn from the best.
You are. Thank you, first of all, for all the nice things that you said. It wasn't really our intent to but thank you for sharing that. You're a wonderful student, which I think is one of the best compliments that you can give. I try to be a student best I possibly can too. And as you spoke about before, you implement, and then you often and still do reach out to us for help. You're on our fortnightly calls there all the time. It's a part of that, which is great. And to look at you now with your videos that you're doing, and then all the live videos that you're now doing as well, is the changes from the early days, and now we've got that next stage of kind of boosting your posts and really kind of reaching out as well. Tell me about this goal of yours to say, you know what, I want to see if I can get this practice to a stage where it runs without me, where I can, I'm not necessary for it. Tell me about that goal and why. Like, why do you want to do that? What would you like that to look like?
Well, I feel that, that's kind of the next step for me, to also then bring another chiropractor into the office. So I am really wanting to be able to put systems in place where I go, here's the framework. I'm out of here for, 6 weeks. So I can go off and travel, or if I need to spend time with family if they're not well, or whatever I need to do. I've got those systems in place, and everyone knows what they're doing, so I can step away for a little while, or just really, my goal in a year's time is to really step back from working with people, with our practice members, and just hand all that over to the staff, but love all this background work now. So, all of this marketing and getting more information out there, is definitely still something that we need to do as chiropractors. We need to be that community influencer. We need to get that message out there more. So, it'll just give me more of a chance to do some interviews and me get out there and do all that stuff, to get that voice out into the community a bit more. So, that's my goal. And also to be a mentor to others, to get another chiropractor on board, but also to show the young ones that, some of the old ones can, give all those things a go as well. And it's really
proving your youth.
You don't have to go a bit easy on the old ones here, Lisa, because we're all very
I'm just
age. So I'm just
older.
Yes. So what were I'm interested in this. I want to get a bit kind of granular there too. In your place, because I love the way that your brain kind of works about things. When you said, all right, I need to be able to set my place up so I can take, let's just say 6 weeks without me being there and things kind of run. What did you identify were your weaknesses that you had to improve on, and how have you gone about improving on? Not that it's all nailed yet at all. This is part of why I wanted to. It's nice to have a chat with somebody that's in the journey at this stage too. And then what would be nice in a month's time is we can come back again. Where are you now? Where are you now? All the way to sometime in the future when you've just got back from that 6-week holiday and everything's great. So what did you identify as, that's a weakness, and here's how I'm going to kind of set that up?
Yeah. Well, seriously, marketing was the big one, but look, you've got to really be able to get your team on board with what you're doing. So I think building that really, really strong team is the foundation of everything. First, you need to know why you're doing what you're doing, build that strong team, and then because there's no point getting new patients in the door if they're not holding on to them. So the front staff need to be able to know how to speak, how to welcome people. So it's everything. So we needed to lift our game, every single area. And like I said to you, stats already, we needed to kind of get on board with that, because I think, we're doing fine. No, you need to know exactly how you're doing. Because when you step away, you need to be able to say, okay, well, things are maintaining, we're retaining, new patients are coming in, all that's still happening. So I need a benchmark. But the big thing too, we weren't doing meetings very often. I'd kind of do the big Italian, I'm Italian, we'd have a big lunch that I'd cook up once every couple of months, and it was fun and it was a social thing, but we weren't really doing it was great, but we need I have weekly meetings with the staff, you know, so getting all those meetings set up. And today we're actually going in and spending a couple hours with Brit and just, you know, getting, you know, like I was saying to you the other week, just getting some really, you know, big sheets and just diarising everything, you know, and then putting that into our phones. And then so we know what everyone is doing ahead of time. So we're just getting organised. It actually feels good. And I find it frees up my time a bit more instead of going, oh, what are we doing this week? You know, so just getting that. And so just constantly learning. It's good. And look, my boys are out of home now, so I've got so much more time. And I can't sit still, you know, I've got to be doing something. And it's fun. It's challenging. You know, it's really lovely to see the growth. And it's good to use your brain. Like, we need to use our brain. Just do new things, challenge yourself. So, yeah, it's a lot, yeah, everything. But, you know, we're just working really on getting those meetings and getting everything diarised at the moment. So, yeah. And implementing things like Slack into the office so that communication's happening quite as a, you know, thing that we can chat amongst ourselves. So everyone knows what's going on.
Got it.
So I think that's important. So wherever I am, I can kind of log into that and go, okay, well, whatever I need to tell them or whatever's going on, I'll be able to kind of check in and see what everyone's up to. Yeah.
So I've got 2 questions. What do your meetings look like and how long do they go for? And then tell our audience who might not know what Slack is about what Slack is and how you use that.
Okay. So Slack is something you can just download it for free unless you've got a lot of people in your office or multi-offices. And it's just a system where you put people in and it's just, you know, if you've got like conversation between, you know, doctors, you've got a little channel there where you may have a general conversation with the front desk staff or with everyone. So you can just put in comments, you can put in, you know, whatever you need to do, download stuff on there. You know, we kind of announce what's happening with our videos. So everyone kind of has a little look, knows what's going on before they actually come out most of the time, which is really good. So it's just a lovely, easy way to communicate amongst yourselves. And then weekly meetings. So I have 15-minute weekly meetings with each staff member. And we're doing that quite nicely, but I'm still not so good at doing our little pre and post. We need to implement this a bit better. Pre and post shift, just like a little couple of minutes meeting of like, you know, what needs to be handled. And at the end of the day, you know, we tend to do the end of the day one, but sometimes the pre-shift, I might have a patient that comes in a bit earlier and that kind of messes all that up. So yeah, it works lovely when it does happen, a pre and a post shift, little what we call a stand-up meeting. So just what's happening, what's going to happen today, or what happened today, you know, what did we do great, what could we improve on, you know, just a couple of things like that, just really simple, just so, you know, we know what we need to focus on next time, or yeah. So it's just implementing. It's and also for everyone to understand why we're doing what we're doing. So, you know, they're actually enjoying the meetings. They seem to love to kind of catch up, because I just thought, well, it's just a catch up. So we're having a catch up, you know, we've got one tomorrow with the massage therapist, and he's like, oh, right, great. And we're going to do a video as well, Lisa, you know, so they're all on board. It's just lovely. So it makes my life great, because at the end of the day, you know, I don't want to go somewhere where they're not happy to be there. So they understand why we're doing what we're doing, and also making sure that, and those little meetings are also great for them to know what's happening with our practice members, if, you know, our wins and things that are happening, you know, some great changes with people. So we make sure we communicate all that with our staff, because a lot of the time they tell us, but they've got no idea at front, you know, some of the amazing stuff that goes on. So, you know, so yeah, it's just really communicating. And I think that's the bottom line, communicating and having a strategy, and you know, we're still implementing a lot of stuff. So it'll be lovely, you know, down the track when I come back from a 6-week holiday to say, hey, it all went really well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be nice.
That's great. Yeah. What I love is I hope the listeners are taking note of this, is that by Lisa getting herself out of the practice, this is not so she can not do any work. This is so that the focus of your work, and this is what I'm getting out of it, the focus of your work changes to working on the business rather than in the business. and becoming that mentor and continuing this legacy of educating and sharing your magic of what you know as a health professional that the community doesn't. It's inspiring.
Yeah.
It's good. I like your idea, because that idea of any journey begins with knowing where you are first. And that's where you've got, okay, I got to work out where I am. Let me get some baseline stats of the practice. So if we're going to implement something new, is it improving, or is it making stuff worse? Or is it not making any change at all? About that too. What kind of statistics have you found helpful to be measuring across your practice?
Well, they're pretty basic, really. So, they're basic. It's just doing them. So it's, obviously our total patient numbers for the week, our new patients, and also just our retention. So we really look at that retention number as well.
From a PVA point of view?
PVA,
so total number of patients seen divided by the amount of new patients?
New patients, that's right.
Your PVA.
PVA, patient visit average. And then we also look at we look at also how many patients are booked in for the week at the beginning of the week, and then how many are booked in at the end of the week as well. Yeah.
And what's your aim with that, Lisa? What that stat there, versus actually seen?
Well, really, if things are running really well, we shouldn't see too much change, because that means that people are actually booked ahead.
And
so they've actually got a schedule, and then they turn up, hopefully. So if you're implementing a program of care, then we would really like to see them booked in ahead of time. So whatever their schedule is, they're booked in. So we shouldn't really be seeing more than about 20% change in that week. That's for your regular visits, and obviously new patients will book in daily sometimes. So does that make sense? Yeah,
perfect. Totally.
I think that too, because as you said before you started, you said look pretty basic. I've seen different stats documents, and I'm sure there are other ones that people could take, but like if you get, they're your minimum to start with. What's your revenue? How many new patients? How many visits you're having? I like that idea of how many people have an appointment in advance, which is kind of what you're looking at. Am I a sign of a healthy practice? We think is people not just making their appointment kind of week to week, but scheduling in advance. Because if people have got an appointment in there, they're much more likely to be turning up as well. But they're very basic. That is kind of why I want to ask you that question. Yeah. I've had stat sheets that have been monsters over the past there too, and they're more complicated. And yes, there's some great 1% data in them, but let's just start with the big stuff, see what's going on.
Yeah. But I also get the staff, the practitioners, to actually send me their own stats as well. So they've got a stat sheet. They've got their patient retention sheet that they have to send me each week as well, because it kind of makes them sit down, as much as we have it in the meeting on a sheet, it just makes them sit down and kind of go, oh, okay. And they also put in their goals. So they put in their goals for the week as well. And, there's a couple of other ticks that they need to do, like any new patients, we need to, do a phone call after the first visit, or there's a couple other little things that they need to do in there as well. So it's just kind of it's a little checklist really of making sure that they're doing all the things that make people feel welcome and know that we're all there for them. So and they love it. I think people love, they want to know what to do. They kind of they really do look to us to say, oh, what do I need to do? How do I get busier? What do I need to do next? And they love these frameworks. I'm actually finding that they're enjoying them.
Yeah.
So it's not been a big deal to implement that part. Yeah.
Lots of people like direction in their life.
Yeah.
There are, there are some people that don't, but the vast majority of people are like, okay, what do I need to do? How do I follow? What are the rules here? How do I move forward? So moving on to, because you're putting these systems in place, you've got some stats you're measuring, you've got a team that's all on board, and now this is kind of really reach into where you're getting very consistent with the content that you're sharing out with your community as well. And a couple of weeks ago in our training, we talked about speed of implementation with a live video. There's no editing needed. There's none of that kind of stuff there too. And that seems to be a push. And what's great is that I didn't watch it, but I saw you at a place with a shoe place the other day. Someone had, tell me about that.
Oh, yes. One of my practice members told me about this little shoe place just in North Melbourne. So, and you know, being Italian, we like our nice shoes. and believe me, my husband's got more shoes than me.
Yes.
But anyway, I thought I've got to go down, and it's lovely to work with local people and to, you know, just to be in that local community. So I went down and checked out Karen's shoes, and she just ticked all the boxes. She designed them. They were hand cut. They were just beautiful. Like, there was just love in this product, and I just loved that, you know. And anyway, so I then met up with her. I rang her up like a few months later and go, "Hey, Karen, it's me. Do you want to?" Because she's really active socially on social media. So I said, "Do you want to do a video?" And she's like, because I was really nervous. I thought, oh gosh, she's going to think I'm a complete loony bin. She goes, "Oh, what a great idea." She goes, we need more of this in our community. I go, "Oh, cool." So we had lunch. I took her out to lunch. I thought, well, that'll just, you know. And I said, "I'll take you out to lunch, and then we'll sort out the details." And we just had so much fun. The video is coming out next week because she's launching a new product this week. So, but you know, just and I thought, well, look, we'll turn it into a video of like five common mistakes people make when they're buying shoes. And so her shoes just ticked all the boxes. She doesn't have high heels in there. And it was so much fun. It was really easy. And I thought, well, look, what's the worst you can say? No. Big deal. Okay, so that's what we're doing. It's just getting more into the community. I've got a guy who's going to pro golfing, so I'm going to catch up hopefully with his coach. And just, you know, people, we've got them all in our office.
Yes.
Like, they're in our office. So I need to kind of, you know, ask, and I'm making a list of people that I'm, you know, one of them, a mum was talking about her lactation consultant. It's like we're having a meeting with her in a couple of weeks. You know, people that will just help to, you know, educate our people in our office and the community a little bit further. And, yeah, so they're good fun. They love it as well, because it helps to promote them, but it's sending the message that we want to send out there anyway. But instead of one-on-one, we can hopefully get it out to a lot more people. So yeah, just asking in the, you know, in our actual practice community.
You've reached the lovely stage because the early stage is, oh my God, what am I going to make my videos about?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. And then you get to this stage where there's too many things. Like we were talking about this, I think it was just last week when we were on a coach tour, is that now we've got an abundance of content. There's no end with what we can come up with. And what Lisa is doing is constantly being cool and helpful in her community. And the more you do that, the more people know, like, and trust you. And there's a direct relationship between how often your phone rings in practice and the number of people that know, like, and trust you. And then, you know, I think with the content that you're creating, and then like we got onto last week, unfortunately, live video has the best reach of anything that you will do on Facebook and Instagram. Push that more than anything else. Because the organic reach of anything else is really quite low. But the next step will come is that once, I think as we set yours up the other day, you know, with $1 a day, it was going to be reaching anywhere between another 40 and 700 people. I know that's a big range. But if we can constantly every day. Per day that is. Yeah. Let's say it's the low point. You know, how much would you pay to have 50 people come into your office, stand in front of you and listen to you speak for 3 to 5 minutes? I mean, that is, if you've got a good message to, you know, for $1 a week, and then $7 a day. $1 a day, sorry, yes. You know, $7 a week, and there's an extra 350 people to come along to a workshop of different, it's mind-blowing. And when you play the long game with that, and it does take a little longer to build trust. I'm excited because the content you're putting out is perfect. It builds trust. It builds authority. You're very likable because now you're very good at just being you, as Tony's advice in the early days there too, is that's what you're laying the foundations for this.
Hello, it's Lisa Smycz from Errol Street Chiropractic here. I'm really excited to bring you this video. No, it was better than that, but
it wasn't quite. It was nearly that bad. But you had to do it. Yeah, you had to just do it. And like you really encouraged me to do it. It's like, right, now we need, Lisa, you've got to get that video to me in a week. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And it is that for so many people, listeners, they're going, I know I should be doing it. I know that I should be making videos. But doing the first one, and you know what? You're going to suck.
That's
I mean,
it.
we look back at our first videos. Oh my God, it's hilarious.
Yes.
And not to say that we're the best, but it is a growth thing. You can't.
Yeah.
You know, I laugh at the time I learnt a rib lift off Wayne Todd. And I was getting pissed off with myself that I couldn't do it really well. And Angus goes to me, "How many have you done, dude?" I went, 3. How do you expect to be great at it? You know, video is exactly the same. So jumping off the cliff, doing your first one, hats off to you, Lisa.
I want to acknowledge Lisa for this too, because she's the perfect example. We often talk about our practice multipliers. We have 6 practice multipliers, of which number 6 is have a growth mindset. And a growth mindset is just simply this: I'm really okay with failure because I'll learn from it and I'll implement from there. And you are such a great embodiment of that. It's one of the, as we talked about before, it's one of the things I really admire about you. And I look forward to watching these next phases of, you know, you've laid foundations. I've got some staff meetings happen because, you know, practice multiplier number 1 would be really great. It's no good being, you know, having a lousy product to offer if your front desk staff aren't answering the phone properly, if they're not giving a great first impression, if you don't have follow through with, you know, again, practice multiplier number 5, it's all about the long relationship, which you're checking with regards to, you're ticking all the boxes. And, you know, I feel certain that if you keep this momentum going there too, then being able to step out of practice for that 6 weeks is, you know, it's a given.
Yeah.
Because you're doing all the right things. Yeah.
Thanks, Angus. That's great. No, thank you both. I do appreciate all of that. And one of the things that the guys out there, I think it's important to remember, is progression, not perfection.
Great.
Progression, not perfection. So that was one thing I learned from Tristan Bond. It's like, you know, I was a perfectionist, but it's like, don't worry about that. Let's just get it done.
Yep.
And so that really helped me just to remind myself, progression, not perfection.
Yeah.
And and it's been fun. I'm actually getting a bit addicted to it. Is that okay?
It is. It should be. It should create that. So many health practitioners, and I think clearly inside of you, there's an entrepreneurial side of you, which is creative and you know, wants to be expansive and all those kind of things. And this is playing another game. It's very exciting to create something out of nothing.
And if you can tap that into the bigger mission, the bigger vision of we've got a great message to share. So why not combine those 2 things together?
Yeah, we're not selling widgets. We're making a difference to people's lives.
Correct.
So what a great
absolutely
entrepreneurial
about. It's good.
It's great. So hey, Lisa, thanks for coming and joining us today. I look forward to later on the year.
Guys.
We'll do a round 2 and see where you're up to on this journey as well. So any final thoughts? I thought you'd won before on progression rather than perfection, but have you got any last pearls of wisdom to drop with our audience?
Just do it, guys, and follow your framework. Just get in there and do it. And that's all. You've just got to do it and stop. And you know how long it took me I was stalling for years. So don't waste time. I wasted time.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Totally. So gang, all of you that are sitting on the fence out there, hey man, over here at ADIO Media, we've got more free content to get you started than what you need. It's all there. And if you want some hand-holding, then, I mean, heck, come and join us inside Community Influencer as well. But you know what? The free stuff is there for you. If you need the hand-holding, by all means, come and join us. We would love to have you as a part of the crew there as well. Lise, thanks so much for what you do. Keep saving lives. We look forward to seeing you inside Community Influencer really soon. Later.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
See ya. Thank you. Bye.
You've been listening to the Marketing Your Practice podcast, where we help natural health practitioners and wellness experts build profitable, predictable, and enjoyable practices. For more information, please visit www.adiomedia.com.